I think I had been there like maybe 6 months, 7 months, and the nurse was giving my evaluation, and she says, "Well, Thelma, everyone loves you." That's the way it started off, and especially the patients. Oh, you bring them, you just make them so happy, and they just and you fix their hair and you put on their makeup. But the thing is, Thelma, you just don't get around to cleaning up all the areas. Oh, yeah. And the other shift, when the other attendant comes on, Thelma, she has to do all that work for you. She said, but the patients all love you. But I think maybe you're just not cut out for this type of work.
I don't think I would mind going to hospital, Thelma, if you were singing in the ward, to be honest. I wouldn't
the patients really liked it.
My cheeks are hurting when I've been laughing so much, actually, so thank you.
I think it's all about the good vibes and just try to support people and just unite people, and it's just worked out really, really well. Me and John are, and we get to see each other every day, so it's a bonus.
There you go. Well, guys, keep doing what you're doing, because as I said, like, my cheeks are hurting from smiling and laughing, so thank you so much for that. I needed that today, so thank you, and thank you so much for having me on. And I think you guys are absolutely brilliant what you're doing, and keep doing what you're doing.
Yep.
Thank you.
You too, Sam. Keep up the great work. Before you ask, I'm not playing that guitar, all right?
Okay, I'm not gonna ask.
Can you sing with us though, Paul? Paul gives a little verse or something.
John, I'll play the guitar if you sing.
Oh no, you don't want to hear that.
When the Isley Brothers came through, Jimi Hendrix was their guitar player.
Wow.
And Jimmy would show me chords on the guitar, and we would hang out together because he was real quiet. Working with all of those artists was just an amazing. So I became a big fan of music and of recording artists as a young boy, and that's really what got me started.
What are some of maybe the funniest moments you girls have had out in the road? Have you got any kind of funny stories you guys have got up to? Because you always look like you have such a great time together when you're out and about.
I mean, I guess the best moments are in the dressing room. The ones that no one gets to see, you know, when we act crazy, like me and Issa, oh man, it's over. Our goal is to just make my grandmother laugh up until the show. I walk around with her bra on my head. I'm so silly and crazy, working. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Is this what actually happens backstage?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then Nana comes in and she's like, oh, I can twerk. Grandma got it. Like, it's just...
We absolutely love our friends overseas. Absolutely. We appreciate you all so much, loving what we do.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a different world on the social media and internet. But I was just driving back tonight. I'm just thinking, God, it's incredible that we can all link up like this. I think, isn't it? We can talk to people like yourself and support original vocalists and just people that were creating that scene back then. And it's an honour, really, isn't it, John?
Yeah, it's great.
Unreal.
Well, I feel like it's an honour speaking with you.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have to remember what we did. They didn't even have to be interested in what we did. Mm-hmm. So I think it goes both ways, honestly.
We're just trying to figure out how you guys done it so damn well. You're still trying to figure it out.
It's just from the heart. It's just from the heart.
I think that's true. Yeah, it's all from the heart, for the love of the music. I think.
For the love of the music, yes.
You guys set the standards so high, Thelma. We're all desperately trying to match that magic that you guys brought to the music back then. We're all desperately trying to get in that and figure out how you guys made such incredible music.
Well, one thing, we didn't have the auto-tune. We didn't have...
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't have all that stuff. We had to, you had to get it. You had to go within your soul, within yourself,
Did you say for John Lennon as well, DC? Did you see?
John Lennon, John Lennon, yeah, sure, yeah.
Thank God.
And he was a big disco fan. John was a big disco fan before it was fashion. Yeah, of course. It's interesting because when I was working with him, I went up to the Dakota to work on a project with him. Yeah. And he had this huge bedroom, and it was all in black. And at the end, it was huge. It had like a triple sized bed. And at the other end of the room, there was a Steve Ray jukebox. A jukebox with all the lights and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And every Monday, he used to go to have the secretary, Yoko's secretary, go down to Colony Records, which is the big store in New York City, Colony Records, for the original one of the big disco outlets, the first ones. But that was before the 12-inch. When I was working with John, it was before the 12-inch existed. And he used to have all his secretary buy all the disco records that were underground disco records in the 48 lives, and have them in his jukebox. And he used to have a disco jukebox.
It's called Tour Room because basically the shed outside my parents' house. And at the time when we were committed to doing this, I sold everything I had, my house, my car, everything I owned. I invested it into a studio in this shed, and where it was called the Tour Room, we put the lawnmower in there, and Spain, all the gardening gear and that. And we said, well, we should call it Tour Room Records because that's the soul of what that's the heart and soul of what we're about.
It's a funny look you get from people with a Scottish accent, isn't it, Natasha, when you open your mouth and you get that blank stare and it's like, this is not going anywhere, basically, is it?
Yeah, I get that before they hear the accent.
You've DJed kind of around the world, you've had quite a lot of gigs and seen a lot of places. Where's been your kind of highlight to DJ, do you think? Like, the best gig you've kind of had so far?
The place last year that I went, that was a real standout for me, was Brazil. So Sao Paulo, my friends that run Heavy Love, they were just, oh my God, it was magical. It was in this mansion in the middle of the woods, in the middle of nowhere.
It's terrifying.
Sounds a bit like a horror movie.
Well, if I'm involved in it, it's a horror movie. It's literally in the woods, in the middle of nowhere, mansion. This building had so much history, and there was all these people there that loved disco music. It was spine chill. It was amazing. Loved it.
I do miss the analog desk, and it always looks impressive when people come to your studio and go, wow, it always makes me laugh on television when they show a producer. He's always got loads of long hair, isn't he? He's really gobby, and he's got this huge mixing desk, but he's only using probably about 2 channels. He's got the laptop going in the side. It's a stereotype.
He just uses it to impress the girls.
Exactly.
And then I went to the Paradise Garage and my whole world changed, and I met everybody from there. My friend David Lozada took me, and he said, what I'm going to take you is going to change you, and you'll never be the same. And he was right. He said, well, you haven't lived until I've taken you here.
What was it feeling like, Lenny, when you first walked in the Paradise Garage?
It was overwhelming.
Yeah.
It was absolutely, it was scary. Yeah. It was absolutely scary. It's like walking to Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
With the Wizard of Oz in Technicolor. I can only say it's all that and all that. And the music was just, it was everything. It was music, it was sound, it was atmosphere.
Also in those days, now you don't want to play a record twice. Back in those days, if the record was hot, we play it 3, 4, 5 times a night.
Yeah.
Which is great because it broke records. It made people really see what the hot records are.
My girlfriend had actually put glitter on the disco balls.
See, that's a keeper.
That is a keeper.
I'll tell you this.
Glitter on the disco ball and the hat, it's knocking out the park.
It really is love. See if your partner isn't like glitter on your disco balls. You need to ask yourself, anyone who's watching this tonight, when you go back to your partner, ask your partner, will you glitter my disco balls? And if they don't, they're not.
I'm just going to text her just now, just give me 2 minutes.
That is a keeper. That is a keeper there. But I spent the whole night I spent about half an hour on that, to be totally honest. I just sat with the rest of the night working on a song. Half an hour's worth of work right there. Disco dash. So we'll give you 3 items. 3 items to dash for then, Natasha. Are you ready for this?
I am. I've got my Spock hand ready.
There must be a magic formula to the bass line, Peter. Can you teach me and John? Because my God, you write some funky bass lines. How do you get it so damn funky? Come on, teach us. What's the secret?
Oh, that's funny.
They are funky.
I'm very happy because I do get that quite a lot. Like people pick up on the bass lines and and I always love bass lines. I've always been fascinated with bass lines. So I do spend a lot of time on bass and bass lines because I love it. And it's really nice when other people are nerdy like that as well. They pick up on it.
Come on, what's the secret out there, Peter?
I don't know, man.
Man, that is every bass line is so goddamn funky.
Oh.
Too goddamn funky. You're born with it. Just say,
I don't know.
Me and John will never reach those heights of those bass lines.
Oh, come on.
So we want to get, this is probably quite an easy one to be fair, a fork,
right,
a record, and a quirky item with a story. Go! How's that time looking, John?
We're on 12 seconds. We're on 12 seconds. It's ticking away.
Oh,
we're so quick. Oh, this is quick.
record, and the quirky item was an actual record. But
Oh, that was.
So
That was bang on 20 seconds. You set the bar high.
Natasha, I've got your little tag to add to the board here.
I love it.
We'll talk about the
Number one at the top. Thank you.
John will back me up on this. I don't wear this hat for any old guest, any old riffraff, Mark. I've put this hat on, especially for you, my friend. So I'm glad we got there in the end.
You wear it well. Never ask me for a request because you get told where to go.
John's face when he gets a request, he's no happy man. He tries his best, but his face says all. I read somewhere that it was the the Voyager you used for it, wasn't it? And you done a moment of madness. You sold the sin.
Yes. Yeah. I wish I had that now.
You'll never get it back.
Probably not. No. It was signed by Bob Moog as well, or Moog, which is he signed it at the side. I remember going up to have the demonstration of it and everything like that. But but in all honesty, I'm using so many soft synths that do such an amazing job.
Yeah, would like to put a plea out to the man that has the Michael's Moog. Could you please return it? Do the right thing.
Down the side, it will say Moog intention.
Yeah,
Moog intention.
You want it back? Do it. Be the bigger man.
Do it.
Yeah. Whatever the cost.
Yeah, I shouldn't have got rid of it, but there you go.
John, what we at?
We're at 30 seconds.
Oh, no, it was looking...
there we go. 32.8.
Oh, it was looking so promising, Romy.
Damn it, I've got stairs.
That's so... He's done it.
That's your daily workout done.
Hope that beer's not sitting too well. That sock was off in an instant.
Sock.
That was something special. It was looking promising, but we'll give you that. 30's a good time. Natasha, she was going at light speed, so it's a hard one to beat.
We've got 32.8 for the board.
32.8.
And what was the quirky item, Romy?
Like I said, I'm pretty boring. And then
what have we got?
I was walking through the house the other day, and I came across this. It's called it's rock and roll lubricant. The king of
Where is this going? Wait a second, Romy, where is this going?
The king of lubes.
Should you really be telling this story?
The funny thing is, the story is actually really boring. But what is kind of funny is this is actually sitting on my dresser right near my front door. So I didn't realise what it said. So I'm wondering how many people have actually walked to my door and read that and wondered what it was doing.
Well, I mean, it's a conversation starter.
Conversation ender.
Should take it out. It's actually chain lube, so it's sounding worse.
See, this is what
bicycle chain lube. So I decided to get fit a couple of years ago, and I got into mountain biking.
A few years ago, with one of my best friends, we ended up going to a Glitterbox event in London. I think it was 2016. And it was the first time I was going to Ministry of Sound in London, and it was for the Glitterbox event. And when I entered the room, and everybody was actually singing Madonna, and Jimmy True from Paris was playing Holiday, and it was like it was amazing.
House is truly Chicago, and you know that in the form that how it started and what it became was really more or less the jacking part. It was all about dancing. You didn't come to look good. You didn't come to dress up. It wasn't about the flair. It wasn't about anything but coming in there and jacking your body.
Yeah, tell us about the jacking, Jesse. Tell us about the jacking, because I've heard kind of stories about the jacking in the warehouse. It can get a bit.
Well, let's define jacking first off. Jacking is the uncontrollable urge to move your body, grab things, and dance as hard as you can on anything you can find. So it's kind of like, yeah, I know, right? But it's like, I remember in I think it was Pump Up the Volume, Chippy does an example in front of the old music box downtown. I thought it was really kind of funny, because seeing him trying to jack was like the funniest thing in the world, because I've never in my entire life seen him jack anything.
Your love of space as well, Natasha. I've got a bit of a question for both of you guys, John as well. Maybe you can get involved in this one. So if we beamed Spock into the Zoom chat right now, and he said, Natasha Kitty Cat Knutson's, you're just what we are looking for the next to join the fleet. Right now.
I'm gone.
Pack your bags. Leave Atlantis. Leave Atlantis behind.
Wouldn't even pack the bags.
No, to be honest, I think you need to see the cat as well, and it's a no deal.
Oh, has Atlantis got to ride the ship?
The cat's coming with me, or it's a no go. It's a no go.
That's got to be written into the contract.
What's that, John?
That's got to be written into the contract. The cat comes too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That honestly being.
So you would go, Natasha. You would just up ship and jump right now. Take the Atlantis, but leave everything else behind and go for it. There's no. It's not a return journey.
No, I'd go as long as I had Atlantis. Atlantis is a deal breaker for me.
Yep. And you can play disco in the cosmos. What about you, John? John, would you up and go right now? No return ticket, just out the door.
It's a tough one. Could stay here in Paisley, or I could go out and explore the universe. That is a tough call. I'm staying in Paisley.